I'm an addict named Margie from the USA, and I want to first of all thank the committee for inviting me to this convention. Even though I cannot be here physically, I'm here with you by way of video, and I'm here with you spiritually. I am in East Africa for the 3rd East Africa Convention of Narcotics Anonymous called Dreams Come True. I came here in 1994. I came to, and I came to believe. There's 2 times in an addict's life that we never forget, and that's the first day that we put something in our body to change the way that we feel, and the first day that we get clean. So on July 14th of 1994, I came to in a drunk tank, in an institution. I was hopeless, I was helpless, I was desperate, but I did not know that I had a disease. I can remember when I came to that I saw the silver toilet with the silver matching sink. I was laying on a cold, hard, plastic, scratchy mattress from all the bodies that had laid before me, writhing in agony from detox, sick, and I had a feeling in the pit of my gut of total and complete hopelessness and despair. And my self-talk said to me, "It's not good enough, is it, Margie, that you are facing a life sentence, that you could still find a way to make yourself sink lower into the depravity of this disease," although, again, I did not know it was a disease. I didn't let myself feel that for too long because it was just too much emotion. And I had run away for 28 years to feel anything that I was starting to feel out. It was like I had a hole in my gut and all these emotions were coming out. So the cop came and he keyed the cell door and he nodded for me to go back to the pod. And I got up from that floor. And when I was walking by him, I wanted to cry out, "Help me. Please, somebody, help me. I don't know how to live with. I don't know how to live without." But I wasn't able to do that because I had those masks that I wore all of my life. And so significant emotional events are negative experiences that happen in our lives. And after a significant emotional event follows change. So my significant emotional event was not that I was facing a life sentence that I was going to do forever in prison. It was that they had treatment inside of the county jail that I had been raised in since I was 18 years old. And so I went into this treatment program. And when I went into the treatment program, I got ordered to go to Narcotics Anonymous. And I can remember saying to the woman who ordered me that I hate Narcotics Anonymous. And she said, "You know what? That's why you're going to go see about something you feel so strongly about that you do not know anything about." So I remember sitting in my first Narcotics Anonymous meeting in that institution. And I heard you guys read the traditions. And you said that the traditions were non-negotiable. And I said to myself, oh, heck no. I'm not signing up for one more thing that's non-negotiable. And then I went to my second Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And in my second Narcotics Anonymous, the speaker walked in. And the speaker was a woman who I had traveled some roads with, who I had walked to the gate in prison, who had turned around and said to me, "Margie, if you don't stop, that braid is going to be silver." I didn't stop. She did. There she was, carrying a message of hope, talking about that she hadn't taken anything in a number of years and that she hadn't been back to an institution. This works through credibility and it works through identification. I knew she had been to the same places that I had been. And I'm not talking about geographical locations. I'm talking about the hangouts of horror that our spirits visit every time that we take something. I knew that she had been there. So she was a hope shot for me. that talks about in our literature the ray of sunshine that breaks through that darkness of denial. She was that for me. In our second step, we came to believe in a power greater than ourselves. It can be the group, it can be the program. She was that power greater than myself, that I said to myself, inside of that institution, hopeless, helpless, desperate, I said to myself, maybe, just maybe, that I could too, that I could stop using inside of the institution, that I could stop trying to kill myself one day at a time, one pill at a time, one bag at a time, one fix at a time, that I could too. And so hospitals and institutions came into that jail every single Friday night, and they began to start working our steps with us. And I began to know that there was a different way. I made a decision while I was in that institution to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood Him. Not as any other addicts that were in that meeting understood Him. Not as Narcotics Anonymous, as they understood Him, but as I, this single addict, understood the God of my own understanding. I took an inventory. I began to understand the patterns. I began to see my assets. I didn't think I had any, and my liabilities. I ended up getting 42 years and 4 months suspended by the grace of God and allowed to go into a treatment program. When I went into that treatment program, I came out of that treatment program. Members took me to meetings. Members showed me how to get up for my clean time, key tags. They said, get a sponsor. I got a sponsor. My sponsor said, get a service commitment. I got a service commitment. My service commitment, again, had to do with hospitals and institutions. Not to say that you have to be from an institution, that you have had to do time in an institution to carry the message. Our message is that an addict, any addict, can stop using, lose the desire, and find a new way to live. So anybody can carry a message to hospitals and institutions, to a population that would not otherwise hear a message of hope. It is so important. As long as I'm breathing air, I will continue to carry the message, not only to meetings and to areas worldwide, but I'll continue to go into the prisons if they let me go into the prisons, as long as my heart is beating. I have been able to go and help start HNI in East Africa. I took in the first meeting with other members into the women in Shimolatiwa and Mombasa. I have been able to travel around the world and go into prisons and carry the message. There's no greater feeling for me. Our 12th step is about selfless service. We look around the rooms and we see who isn't there, and then we begin to reach out to those members that are not there. So, Egypt, I encourage you, I challenge you to start HNI in Egypt. It is so very important part of our program. There's no greater feeling that when I'm out and I'm at a convention and someone is walking through the convention and they lift their head up and they see me and they come and hug me and they say, I remember you. You brought the message into the prison that I was at. Because every time I go to prison, I give them a meeting schedule. We all do. There's a group of us that travels around to prisons. We call ourselves HNI Warriors. There's no greater feeling to see a member that has been in prison that we carry the message to come out of that prison and come to one of our conventions, one of our speaker jams, one of our unity days. I want to say Asante Sana, which means thank you in Swahili. Thank you for inviting me here to your convention, and one day I will make it there to give you a great big hug. So I want to say in leaving that if no one has told you that they love you today, that I definitely do. From the bottom of the very bottom of my heart, please just stay.